Hi, I'm Joe and welcome to the channel. In this micro lesson, I wanted to talk about how to make a guitar lick your own. I'm going to show you one of my all-time favorite licks that I learned a long time ago that I still use to this day. And the idea here is to break down the lick a little bit so you can understand and analyze where things come from as far as maybe the scale goes, also some of the techniques that are used to make up that lick, and also note choice and note placement inside of the music. Now when you have all that information, you can apply those concepts to new licks or make variations of a lick. So let's grab a guitar and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I thought it would be fun to take one of the first licks that I ever learned that I still use today to show you how you can take a lick and make it your own and how to analyze it. And this lick comes from the mighty Allman Brothers. The song Melissa is so beautiful to me. I always love that song, and Dickie plays this wonderful pentatonic run that is just perfect. It's simple, but it's perfect and it's melodic. So I thought let's break down that lick and then I'll show you a little bit of some things that you can borrow and steal from as you learn licks to apply to your own playing. So the lick goes like this. So again, a very simple lick just off of the E major pentatonic. And he's just walking down, starting on an E and ending on an E. The song itself is in E. But there's so much that you can learn from this lick and any lick that you analyze. And one of them being is, what is the technique that they're using to play this lick? Well, you'll notice that the first note is picked, and then it's a pull-off, and then it's picked again. So there's two pull-offs that are happening. So learning pulling off is one thing that I grabbed from this lick and I learned from this lick that I can incorporate in any of my lines. And what's nice about pulling off, you basically pick the first note if you're not familiar with this technique, and then you pull your finger down that you just picked off the string to get that next note to ring. And for me, this adds a little bit of a vocal quality to the line. Instead of hearing all the picking, you have more of a... It just sounds smoother to my ears, at least. Another interesting thing about this lick is that it teaches you not to play on the first beat of a measure, because what this is doing is it's actually setting up the second verse really nice. And it starts on beat 3. Lots of times as guitar players, especially when we're new to soloing, we don't give a little bit of space before we start playing, and the chords underneath it can really set up the solo or the lick that you're playing in a nicer way if you just give a little bit of space before you start playing. You know, it's just as important to leave silent spaces in your music as it is to play notes. And so this is happening on beat 3, so the chords are going like this. And when it gets to this chord, 1, 2, 3. So it's happening on the third beat. But it lands so strong on the E when the chord underneath it for the second verse starts. So this lick happens about 57 seconds into the song Melissa if you're interested in learning how it's placed in the song. But what does that teach you? Well, first of all, it teaches us the kind of the sweet notes that we can find here. Again, we're starting, since the song is in E, we're starting on the root. The next note that you'll hear, that your ear picks up on, is a B, which is part of these chords. You have that open B. In all the chords. So he's starting on the root, landing on the third, hitting that third again, and then coming back down to the E, the root, on beat 1 for that E chord. So what we learn from this is a little bit of phrasing, right? We can learn where to... We can also learn again about the sweet notes that we want to hit and target for our solos. So when you're looking at these licks, try to take time to analyze what the player is actually playing. What they're playing over will help you, because if you can understand the relationship of the notes that you're playing over the chords, you can then apply that to your own songs. So now that you have a lick that you learned from somebody else, how do you really make it your own? Well, you could take those things, those techniques that you learned, the timing of it, the note placement of it, the phrasing of it, and you can apply that to your own licks, or you can make variations of the same lick. So one of the things that I'll do is maybe I'll take this lick and I'll just keep going, or start on a different note. Or I'll end on a different note. And then start combining it. But you'll notice the motif is the same rhythm. I'm still doing the pull-offs. Oh! So just take the ideas and start messing around and putting them in different places. And what's nice about this is you can use this lick in any key that you're playing in. So let's say you're playing in A. Maybe you're playing a lick in A major instead of a pentatonic, but you're using the same idea that you just learned from the lick before. So again, it's the same basic idea. But now it's in a different key. But you see here, I just took this one idea and I start playing around with different variations of it, different notes, different ideas, and I'm starting to come up with and generating my own licks. And that's the important thing. That's how you can really take a lick and make it your own. Of course, you can blatantly play the same lick whenever you want to, and that's always great to do. It's tipping your hat to the influences that you have in your playing, but it's also nice to take those ideas and mutate them a little bit to make them unique. That's another micro lesson down in this series of videos. I really hope that you enjoyed it and you found some value in this. And if you did, would you do me a favor? I'm really trying to grow the channel. Would you help me out by subscribing down below, hitting the like button, or knocking on the bell? All those things really do help me out, and I'm always so grateful for your support. As always, I wish you a great day.